Hi everyone, Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Forward Finds. Taking a little break from the Albany album haul to show you a much smaller haul. Um, Recently, this past weekend, I went to Dater College in Clifton Park. My friends Flipping Roo, Nanette and Dave, they were passing through, and they wanted to stop there because it was reported to have excellent postcards. And I had never been, even though it's 20 minutes from me. So it was as good excuse as any to get out there and hang with my friends and look at some postcards. And I did pretty well. I got a little haul here that I'll show you in a couple minutes. Um, First impressions, I didn't take any B-roll or anything there. Maybe next time I go back, because I will be back. Maybe next time I can get some B-roll. I know the owner does not care to be filmed, which is perfectly fine, but I'm hoping maybe she'll allow me to at least record some of the rooms when there's no one else in there. At least, just a pan around. In any case, it is a cash or check only establishment, which I didn't really think about before going there. Probably a good thing. It forced me to behave because you already know, I bought a whole bunch of postcards already. I don't need to buy a whole bunch now. Um, so I was limited. I spent $54.04 after tax. And got a nice little haul. So yeah, I think that's enough ramblings. Um, let's get into the haul. All right, so before I get into the haul, a few other things I forgot to mention. So the way Dater Cottage is set up is they have a whole bunch of different dealers, um, each with like color-coded tables. Um, I don't know, maybe a dozen plus dealers. We only spent our time at one person's booth, and he actually has two. We only went to the one that was half off. So any prices you see here, I actually paid half of that. But in any case, um, there's plenty there's plenty for me to go back and see. So I'll probably go back periodically. They're only open on weekends, and just each time I go, spend time at a different dealer that I haven't shopped before, and see what I can find. For example, they had one of the dealers had a box of QSL cards, a whole box, $35 for the box. Um, I had already spent my money at that point, so that might be something I go back to sooner rather than later. But in any case, let's get started. Flipping Roo and I picked up every devil we came across as we were going through the half off booth. They recently were a part of a raid train on Whatnot, El Fuego, I believe it's pronounced. Uh, Anyways, every devil card that they had listed sold, and it sold well. So I figured, well, we both figured it was worth the risk picking up more. So there's only one of this card listed at the moment that I've seen. It's listed for around 30, and mine is in significantly better condition, almost pristine actually. So this undivided back, why the devil don't you let me hear from you? And so I paid $3 for that one. Another devil here. Who am I? You know that well. Please come see me. I live, well, you can guess where. So again, another nice devil art there, undivided back. That one I haven't looked up yet. This one I think what did I pay on that one? I paid $2.50 on that one. This one, there is at least one listed, I think, for like 15. But even still, I paid $3 for it. This one is divided back, a little bit embossing there on the devil, and just a little phraseology there. Devil's behind the price tag with a little chalice or something, and that big old globe head dude. I don't know, but wasn't gonna pass up on him. All right, April Fools. So this is like the French version of April Fools. I forget exactly what they call it, but fishes are a big part of the French April Fools. Thank you, Car. When I took French class in high school and middle school, every April Fools we'd be taping fishes to the back, people's backs. I've never had any April Fool's cards, so I figured for $1 I would give it a try. Flippin' Roo actually picked up some more American-style April Fool cards, so you can go check out. I don't know if she's doing eBay or whatnot for those, but watch their space for that. It's funny, I never had one of these before, so that's why I picked this up. But album 5, which I'll be filming in a little bit from the estate sale haul, there's one in there. So, anyways, this I just couldn't leave behind. It's an adorable World War One era Red Cross puppy. It says, "I'm a war baby too." It's a little rough, some of the corners are snipped. I paid $2 for it. I'm guessing 10 to 15 maybe. Certainly at least 10. I'll have to see what else is listed for it, but it was just absolutely too cute to leave behind. All right, this one I paid $1 for. What I first noticed was just the gnomes. Vintage gnomes can do well. They're, just like any topic, they're not all created equal. But this was undivided back, foreign card. But then as I was looking at it closer, it's got kittens, which of course makes me tempted to want to keep it, but I will probably let this one go unless it turns out to be worth the $1 that I spent on it. But this was another one that's a little rough, corner snips, but I think the artwork will more than make up for it, especially with the playful kittens there. So, all right, these two are from '93, I believe. Let's see. Focus. All right, it's not going to focus. Yes, 1993. So they're just little fairy illustrations by Jeff Willis. So this one says Garden Fairy. They're based on watercolors. And that one's Stream Fairy. I don't know. I paid $1 each. Fairies typically are a good theme to keep an eye on, really anything in the fantasy realm. I figured I probably could at least get 10 for each, unless they're saturated, but I'll find out. For $1, worth a try. So this is a real photo postcard I picked up for $1.50. Mingling crowd. We got some umbrellas, interesting hats, and stuff. On the back, it was labeled in pencil, Panama Canal, which is really what struck my interest. And then I think that's a name, something Megan, and then 1923 or 1922. I'm not sure what that first one is. Maybe you can help me. I'll see what Google Lens does. I can read cursive, but I still struggle with some cursive. In any case, I don't usually purposefully pick up foreign RPPCs, but figured Panama Canal was a compelling enough topic, and you got a lot of interesting fashion and stuff going on here that for $1.50, I figured I could at least get 10 out of it, if not more. So I will be listing these after I make the video, so I will link down below what is listed by the time the video comes up, but you can always check the new items tab or simply ask me and I can show you where the listings are. This is, I believe, another real photo. I have to double check on that. It does say photo on the back there. Not much to go on as far as information. I just thought, beautiful young woman. She's holding antique camera. It's very clear. It's in great condition for $2. Again, probably at least 10, maybe more. I don't know. It would be better if there was an ID on her. But either way, I thought it was just a very nice image. And so for $2, I figured to give it a try. I think this was the first card I took out of the box and put in my pile. It's just interesting. Got these two kids here, like following a syringe playing a flute on parade, sort of, kind of. Paid $3 for this one. On the back, it says Satan's Waiting, so I'm assuming this is like a drug campaign, anti-drug campaign ad. Hoping there's not a lot of these up there. I haven't looked at this one yet, but it was too bizarre to leave behind. Flipper and Rue and I both like buying and selling the weird, so I'm hoping at least 10 to 15, but we'll see. All right, I'm going to pause this and take this out of the sleeve. All right, so this one, what caught my eye was the racing greyhounds, which is not really a thing anymore. When I was in Cincinnati for grad school, some good friends of mine, they fostered and adopted retired greyhounds, and they are such sweet dogs. Big and lanky and chaotic but very sweet dog. So I find that Greyhound stuff can do well, as long as it's not the most common stuff. I quickly tried looking up this bar in Terra Peak when I was at the store, which I don't typically do, but I did this time, and couldn't find anything. It's definitely dirty, but what I didn't realize until I got home, let's see if I can do this one-handed, is it's actually a menu. It folds out into a menu, which I did not know, which I think is actually kind of a bonus. But I was just looking at some of these prices in here. Filet mignon, $3.75, or $2 for slices. T-bone, $3.75. I don't know if that's like a per ounce price or if that's just like the full deal. I don't know what the date is on this. But I would love a filet mignon for $3.75. Lobster tails, $3.50. I don't know. I like those prices though. But I am hoping, $15, $20 for this. I'll do a little bit more research to see if the bar's still around. Check the town as well. But yeah, a nice little find there. As you all probably know, I like listing pinups. And so for $1 each, I couldn't pass these ones by. These are made in France, but that's about all the information you got to go with. So, just some lovely ladies. Not much to really say there. Maybe $10 each, unless these turn out to be fairly common. Again, I don't like doing research when I'm at the location, primarily because if I'm at a fair, I don't want to be like looking stuff up in front of the shop owner. Just not my thing. All right, and then these last two were sold as a set. So this was originally $30 for the 5 cards. So I paid $15. And let me take these out of the package here so I can show you a little better. All right, so these are 5 Keane pieces, the big-eyed girls, big-eyed children. Not my flavor of art, but I know it's a very popular one. Like, this just feels horror movie-ish. This one's pretty cute. I like this one with the dog. That one's not so bad. That one, again, gives me, like, horror flick vibes. But in any case, I've not seen the black and white ones before. And that could just be my experience. I'll have to look into that some more. But I do believe these are authentic in age and not reproductions. In part, there doesn't say repro on there anywhere. But on the back, it's still attributing the artwork to Walter Keane. And if you don't know the story, they did make a movie about it, which I need to see sometime. They even mentioned that there was a movie made from it. But the wife, and I'm blanking on her name, I apologize, I should know it. I should have looked it up before. But his wife was the one who actually did the artwork, and he was taking all the credit. Obviously, eventually came out. But so yeah, I have no idea what these are gonna go for. Again, I paid $3 each, I think. Is that what I said? Yeah, $15 for the 5 of them. So I'm hoping at least 10 each, maybe 15. But I'll have to do my due diligence and see. All right, so this last set is another series. This was originally $15 for the set of 5, so I paid $7.50 total, whatever that breaks down to, buck something. But it's a whole series of this woman being trapped in a fire, and then well, looks more like a policeman than a firefighter, but it doesn't really matter. Some sort of emergency crew coming up the ladder there to rescue the woman. Let's see, walking along to her, and then reaching forward to bring her down the ladder, and then safely on the ground. I quickly tried looking up this one. I had just taken a picture with my phone and Google Lensed it and couldn't find any like this one. I haven't checked the other images yet. They do have like little titles there and a little text of story. On the back, let's see, where is it? So they are divided back. And we got a for a Threocrom series printed in Germany. I'll have to look up that name as well. But in any case, I know firefighters do well, fire engines, anything fire department related typically do well. So I figured I'd take a risk on these. They're certainly artistic enough. I will sell them individually. I don't typically do lots in most cases. So yeah, well, I have really no idea what to expect for these. Again, my brain says hopefully at least 10 each. Makes it worth the paying up a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty good deal for something a little different than what I normally have. So that's the haul. I think that was pretty good for $54.04. I now know a location. I know that there's some postcard shows coming up this weekend locally as well, thanks to the visit. So hopefully we'll be getting out to those. And I think that's probably enough rambling for now. So I'm going to get working on listing these, and when I'm done with that, I will start on album 5, or something from the estate anyways. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, what you like, what's your favorite pieces, and any information you may have on what I've picked up. We'll catch you on the next one.